Hello you guys, and welcome to my very first video on my Mission Don't Be a Fat Ass weight loss channel. I know, I'm so excited. For those of you who don't know me, my name is David Allen Singletary, and I have another YouTube channel called The Viva La David Show, and I had a lot of people ask me to start up this weight loss channel because they had seen my transformation. Let me just rewind. That was my rewind. I know, there's no fancy editing. Oh, I'm sorry, we're on a budget. We're on a budget. All my money goes to diet food. No, I'm kidding. So, okay. I am 20 years old. You don't need to know my age. But about a year ago, I would say March of 2010, I was roughly 420-ish pounds. Yeah, I was a big boy. And one day I just decided that I couldn't do it anymore. There were actually a couple of things that led to my actual decision. One, and probably the most important, was I come from a family with a long line of very serious heart conditions. We have hypercholesterolemia, which means that we have chronically high cholesterol, just inherently. It's a hereditary disease, and it just means that even eating right, you have very high cholesterol. And my grandmother passed away from it, and my mom has it, and she's had countless heart surgeries and angioplasties, and I have it, and I've had it since I was little. And obviously I was not very healthy at that. I mean, I'm 6'4", so I'm a big guy, but even at 6'4", that's an incredible amount of weight. And I went to the doctor, and I was having, issues. Anyone at that weight, you have issues. And yeah, she basically told me that at that weight and with my heart in the condition that it was very likely that in my early 30s I would probably have a heart attack and that I might not survive it. So that scared me. Obviously, it really scared me. And also, I'm an actor, and my weight was never a huge issue, I would say, in my earlier years, because I was cast, and I was a very, very agile, bigger person. I think that's also why I didn't have more problems, because I was a dancer and I moved constantly. But I was very unhappy. And I'm just going to be candid. I know I'm the big jokey, guy. I make jokes. I will be the funniest person, and I will make fun of me better than you ever can, because I've been doing it for years, and I'm not going to give you the privilege of saying something about me that's funnier than what I would say. So I definitely used my humor as a defense mechanism, because I was fat. And, you can't tell someone, oh, you're fat. Well, hello, thank you. I didn't have a mirror or a friend or any way of knowing that I was fat without you telling me, you bastard. So, people just accepted that I was the fat guy. I was funny, and I was loved, and I didn't have any problems, really with relationships or friendships and things like that. The real problem was with me. I wasn't happy. I came to a point where I didn't feel that I deserved love, and I was hiding. And I don't know if you guys are very religious, but I also just felt like I was kind of doing a disservice to God and myself, because God really gave me the strength to get through a lot of very tough times in my life. And he gave me a lot of gifts. I sing, I dance, and I'm living in New York, and I have a job, and I really felt like it was kind of a slap in the face for me to be cutting my life short, which is essentially what I was doing. I was killing myself slowly and with really good food, but I was killing myself. So I basically decided that I had to change, and I'm not even going to say, I mean, right up front, with Mission Don't Be a Fat Ass, it's not for everyone. I'm not here to tell you an exact science as to what you should do. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a doctor. I'm an actor. So, but I will say what worked for me, And basically it's just diet and exercise, which we're obviously going to get bigger into that. But basically I went home and I said I can't do this anymore, and I literally went into my pantry and threw away everything that was unhealthy, which there was a lot. Girl, I threw away some good shit. The ravioli, I threw it all, I threw away stuff that really pained me. But I knew that I had to make a change. And I went out and, being a young actor in New York City, you don't have a ton of money. But I spent every bit of food budget that I had on healthy foods. Everything that I had, I spent it on healthy foods so that I wouldn't have the option, truly wouldn't have the option of buying junk, of stopping at McDonald's, which I loved. Those fries are good. But they were killing me. So basically that's how it started. And I also started up a big campaign called Mission Don't Be a Fat Ass on my Twitter, which if you're not following me, it's David Singletary, at David Singletary, and also the same thing on Facebook, it's David Singletary. But I started it, and I started a very big with the Broadway community, and they embraced me, and people jumped on board immediately because, everyone struggles with that. I mean, maybe not to the point of being 420 plus pounds, but everyone struggles with it in some way, and it really does affect you. So, I jumped on hardcore. I dieted. I exercised a lot. And I, watched what I ate. I can tell you exactly kind of what I ate, but this is just kind of an introductory video letting you know basically where I came from and where I'm going. I'm going to insert some pictures of my before and afters. I lost about 220 pounds in a little over a year, which I know seems kind of drastic, but I will say that I was really, really dedicated. I had complete and total tunnel vision. I knew what I needed to do, and I completely cold turkey. I never wavered. And like I said, this isn't for everyone. For some people, that might be a recipe for for devastation. That might be a recipe for disaster. And you might need some kind of cheat days. You might need some kind of, variance from this very, very strict diet in order to stay on it. And if that's what you need, then go ahead. All it is about making sure that you have the ultimate goal in mind for you. And it can't be for anyone else. It can't be for a boyfriend or for an agent. It can't be for those things. It has to be for you. You have to come to a point where you say, I'm worthy of this, and I deserve to be happy, and I deserve not to be ashamed of myself. Because, other people, my friends loved me. In fact, my friends, when I started losing weight, some of them had kind of a negative reaction to it because I suddenly wasn't the same person that they knew. All of their memories of me were as of a completely different person. And I am that same person. Like I always say, people look at me now and they go, oh, I can never even imagine that you were fat. But I was. I was Richard Simmons fat. I was big. I was like, cut a wall out of my house and lift me out on a flatbed fat. But that's what I was. And I'm still the same person. But I'm much happier. It truly, truly has completely and totally changed my life. So, now that I've done that, and I'm still doing it, now I'm working on, obviously, trying to tone up. I'm, working on some muscles, and that's a completely different program. But there are so many of you who have come to me and said that I've inspired you, and that is incredible. Like, I seriously, I'm a man about it, but I do kind of get emotional sometimes because I read these emails and I can't believe that someone who has struggled so much and is still struggling every day, it's hard. Because I have friends who are normal young people. They eat pizza and they drink and they eat candy, they eat. It's hugely a social thing. I mean, when you celebrate, you eat. So it's very difficult, I think, for young people especially in New York City, to do that. But you have to figure out a way, because if you have enough determination, you will do it. I promise. Anyway, so I really started this channel to connect with you guys. I'm going to talk about diet, exercise. I'm going to talk about products. I mean, the coolest thing that I think I've learned to do is to take all of the fatty things, the burgers and all that stuff, and make them in a healthy way, to where I feel like I'm getting the same thing, but it's not being harmful. It's not killing me. So, I'm going to talk about foods, products. Maybe you can get them where you are. Maybe they're just in New York, or maybe you can order them. Or websites, different exercises that, people can do at different varying weights, because not everyone can get out there. And I was lucky when I started, like I said, I was a dancer. I was very, very mobile. I mean, I wasn't, for a 420-pound man, I was not, running a triathlon, but for my size, I was still, I was dancing for Disney, I was dancing in shows, but when I started, I was not where I am now. I had to work up to things, but I did, and I'm still working, like I said. So, that's what it is. I have been on an incredible journey, and it's been a very long year, but being on the other side of it, I can't imagine being the way I was then. I'm very ashamed in some ways of how far I let myself get, but I had to be there to get here, and here's a really good place. And for those of you who are starting on this journey, weight loss journey, I applaud you, because it's hard, but like I said, I'm living proof that A, it can be done, and B, it's so good once you've done it. So, come on board. Mission Don't Be a Fat Ass. Tune into the channel. I already know what the first product that I'm going to bring up to you guys is, and it's amazing. It's you can find it at a lot of places. If not, you can get it online, but it's amazing. So yeah, I love you guys, and I mean that. Like, some of you guys I really have connected so much with, and I'm so on board with what you guys are doing. And I'm still, I have my own things that I'm doing. Some of you guys might be bodybuilders, or building muscle, or trying to tone up and things like that, because that's really important when you're losing large amounts of weight. Maybe you have to lose 5 pounds, maybe you have to lose 500 pounds. But I think the important thing is that we're going to do it together. So, add me to Twitter, add me to Facebook, Mission Don't Be a Fat Ass. We're going to get into it.